Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization. A woman named Jenna emails us. Here's what she says. Hi there. I just commented on your Monte Cristo YouTube video, and you commented back saying you'd like to hear my story. Well, I'm emailing it to you because it's a bit long for YouTube. My name is Jenna, and back in 2006, my husband and I were taking a weekend and scouting for deer in the mountains. We drove up Monte Cristo to Ant Flat Road, and after a few hours in the mountains, we stopped in a place that I've only heard called Scare Canyon. It was a neat little area with a grove of quakies and a stock pond about 100 yards away. We had about an hour of daylight left, so we set up camp for the night in the grove of trees. We slept in the back of our pickup, so setup was pretty easy. We built a small fire to cook dinner and sat around it until not pretty dark. It was a full moon, so it wasn't super dark. We had our healer dog with us, and she was sort of exploring and roaming around just outside of the firelight. Well, I started to get an uneasy feeling sitting around the fire, so I climbed into the bed of the truck and continued talking with my husband. About 10 minutes later, our dog starts running around the fire, still just outside of the light, like crazy. She was whimpering and crying, running and jumping. It was weird because she has been around big game before and it never bothered her. Anyway, she comes running out of the darkness and jumps into the bed of the truck. She curls up behind my back and she is shaking like a leaf. I hurry my husband into the truck and he reluctantly gets in. He falls asleep pretty quickly. The dog always sleeps on my feet, so she was curled up near the tailgate. I was just dozing off when I felt her shift and sit up. She started to growl very low. I told her to lay down, but she continued to sit there and growl at something. About 5 minutes goes by of her growling, and I sit up to see what it is. I look towards the dirt road, about 75 feet from us, and there is something in the moonlight. Standing there, it's a huge animal. At first, I thought it was a moose, but he would have to have been standing facing me. As I was watching this thing for what seemed like an hour, but was only 2 or 3 minutes, it starts to walk down the hill towards the stock pond. I panicked because it was huge. I laid back down hoping it wouldn't come near the truck. Then I sat back up a few minutes later. It was gone. I estimated it to be between 8 and 9 feet tall, extremely wide shoulders and thick. I could see some muscle definition in the bright moonlight. I tried waking my husband, but he wouldn't. If my dog could talk, I swear she could tell you more details. Thanks, Jenna. Hi, Jenna. Thank you for emailing us with your Bigfoot sighting report. There has been a long history of Bigfoot sightings near where you had yours. A few come to mind. Down below on the Ant Flat Road that you mentioned, a family had one cross the road in front of them one year. And then we received two separate sightings from people on four-wheelers. One of them, it crossed the road in front of them, and the other report, it paced them next to the road between 30 and 35 miles per hour before jumping a fence and running into the trees. We just barely received a Bigfoot sighting report from the area. Trent Nye, he writes RMSO. I have been working on a project in the Monte Cristo area at the Hideout, the top of Scare Canyon the last few months. Thursday night about dark, something was watching me dig. I couldn't tell what it was, and I didn't see it leave the sagebrush. We shut down the trackhoe, and after a while of silence, we saw it bounce back and forth like it was playing with us. We ran to the truck and started it, and took off. It ran across the sagebrush alongside of us. Then it took off into the cliffside above Porcupine Reservoir. It was not any bigger than any one of us. I've been in the mountains all my life. That was enough for me. Ha ha ha. But I got to go back to finish the work tomorrow, and we will be looking for tracks. Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization responds, Hi Trent, thanks for letting us know. We found a couple dozen Bigfoot tracks near McKinnon Peak Wednesday. They were near power line easements, so they were probably traveling to lower elevation when they made them. 16 inches long, and around 8 inches wide at the toes. Appreciate hearing about your experience. I Google measured from the tracks we found on Wednesday location to approximately where you had your dill. It is 10 miles, straight line, and the tracks I found had been windswept a little, so they were probably made on Tuesday. Plenty of time for it to travel to where you had your ordeal. Tracks were headed that direction too. Appreciate your sighting report. Keep on watching. We're going to keep on squatching. Email your Bigfoot sighting to rmsobigfoot@gmail.com.